the smooth song stylings of DeBarge. If you are in the Southern California area this weekend, there are two big shows featuring DeBarge and Switch together on stage for their first ever reunion concert in a tribute to Bobby DeBarge at the iconic Globe Theater. This Sunday, that show was announced some weeks back, sold out pretty quickly, and they have added, by popular demand, a second show. So you are in luck if you don't have a ticket for Sunday and Monday at the Globe Theater. The incomparable DeBarge in concert with Switch, again, together on stage for the first time ever in this reunion concert in a tribute to Bobby DeBarge at the iconic Globe Theater. Let me just tell you a quick my quick DeBarge story and why I love him so much and love his entire family. So I grew up in a little Pentecostal church in a little small town in Indiana. And as you all know, Elle and siblings grew up in Michigan. I was a part of a national church organization called the PAW, Pentecostal Assemblies of the World, Inc. And we had a sister church named Bethel in Grand Rapids, Michigan, pastored by a brilliant man named William Abney, Bishop William Abney. And that is the church that Elle and his siblings went to. And so before they blew up as DeBarge, I met them at a church convention once and heard them sing. And I was the choir director in my church, and I was just completely blown away by the harmonies, by the vocal stylings of this DeBarge family, who I met at this church convention. Fast forward a few years, I'm at my house in Indiana, listening to the radio, and I hear this song in a special way come on. And I froze in the living room when I heard this song. And when I found out that it was DeBarge, that same DeBarge family I had met at the church convention, I about passed out. And years later, I would end up being a radio and TV host and have the opportunity to meet DeBarge and to become friends with DeBarge. And life just has interesting twists and turns. And so here I am now all these years later on radio, and I get a chance once again, as I've done in my platforms before, to have a conversation with my dear friend and brother, DeBarge, whose voice is just all that for me. DeBarge, I love you, man. How are you, sir?
Hey, Tavis, good to talk to you, man. Can you hear me?
I hear you well, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Doing really good, man. I'm looking forward to all the great things coming up, but we're going to talk about that, I'm sure.
No, you got...
I'm just hyped, man.
No, you got a whole lot of good stuff coming up, man. I'm glad to have you on, and I can imagine that you're hyped. Speaking of being hyped, what is your process? I mean, how hyped do you get? What is your process before you do a big concert? How do you prepare for it?
Oh, before I do a big concert? Well, I usually am in the dressing room trying to get rid of the butterflies. I still get butterflies.
You still get butterflies, Al?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I can't help it, man. It's with me all the time. Remember, I got butterflies just from having this conversation. I think what it is it means so much to me that I can touch people's lives in a good way, in a positive way. And I always respect that. Along with success comes a great responsibility, and I respect it, So yeah, I get the butterflies, man.
Yeah. What is how would you define how it is that you and I discussed this before, so this is no surprise to you, no surprise to our audience. You've been very open and very transparent. One of the songs that I love that we're gonna play here in a minute is a song you wrote called "Second Chance." So again, no hiding the fact that you've had your issues. And you keep fighting through those issues, and I'm pulling and praying for you all the time. But it amazes me. I have the same conversation with Charlie Wilson. I don't know two people who have done more that could have damaged their voice, could have just completely stripped them of all their vocals. God rest her soul, but at the end of her life, Whitney Houston had lost her voice. The drugs had just completely stripped her of her voice. But for whatever reason, God has been merciful to you and grateful to you, and you've done whatever you could to protect it. But what do you make of the fact that with all that you've put your voice through, Elle, that you still have not just your voice, you still have your upper registry?
That's a very humbling thing for me to think about. And Whitney, rest in peace. We all loved her so much. I really loved her. God, I think, Tavis, that I can do nothing but just talk about the grace of God. I don't know. He chose me to do this, and I'm just happy to do it. I really don't have the answer to that. I know I drink a lot of water.
Yep.
And I pray a lot, I just love God, man, and I love music. And, if I wasn't doing this, I don't know what else I'd be doing.
Yeah. No.
But speaking of Uncle Charlie Wilson, he's another man. He's another. Whenever I do concerts with him, we talk about it all the time. We sit in his dressing room. Charlie is never ever late for getting on stage. He's always on time. He's very prompt. And when he and I get together and we talk in the dressing room, he always says, "You're about to make me late. When you miss me?" He's never, because we just get into the conversation so much, man. And he's never late.
Yeah.
But he came close a couple of times.
Well, but you guys are amazing to me because again, God has been so merciful, I think, to both of you and just protected those pipes. And Charlie, of course, is cranking out hits like nobody's business. And again, you still have all of your range and your upper register is just still there, and I love it. I want to play a little bit of this particular song. I played it earlier, as I mentioned to you. I've never done this before, but for all 3 hours today, all I've done is to play DeBarge music because I celebrate you so and respect you so, and just again pulling and praying for your success all the time. And my favorite album is an album that I think Warner Brothers put out for you, and I just think Warner Brothers dropped the ball on this miserably. I think it is the best album that you've ever done, top to bottom. That's my own assessment. If you ask me what is my favorite, all your DeBarge stuff is amazing, but this album that you did in 1994 called Heart and Soul, Babyface produced some tracks on it. Everything on this album, top to bottom, is amazing. But I want to play a little bit of Heart and Soul right quick. Every time I hear it, it does something to me. We'll continue our conversation with DeBarge, who's appearing this Sunday and Monday at the Globe Theater with Switch. If you're in the Southern California area and you've never seen it, I said the other day, Jeffrey Osborne was on, life is short. And if there are people you love and you've never seen them in concert, now is the time to make sure that you recognize the brevity of life and don't miss going to see people you ain't never seen in concert that you swore you always wanted to go see. So this weekend, 2 days to see DeBarge at the Globe, Sunday and Monday. We'll continue our conversation with my friend Eldra DeBarge when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580. He took me under his wings. He was like a father to me, a brother to me, a great minister of music. Taught me everything I know, and he only encouraged me. He was never jealous or anything. He always wanted to see me win. One of the greatest voices I've ever heard in my life, and one of the greatest songwriters I've ever had the privilege of being around, my brother Bobby. So it's you and it's Switch. So what's the plan for the show this week? How's it gonna go? You coming out first? They coming out first? You going back and forth? How's it gonna work? Well, no. DW3 is coming out first. That's a local band here in Los Angeles. Right. And then Switch is coming out. And then I'm coming out. And you know what? Speaking of the show, I appreciate everyone who bought tickets for December 19th. But because we've added a second show, December 20th, I have some really, really special things that I'm going to do to make that show very special. So I don't know. You might want to get some tickets for the 20th too, because we went all out. Me and my musical director and my performance coordinator, we just put in extra hours to make December 20th even more special. Wow. For everybody that didn't get a chance. So you're doing something extra on the 20th then, on the second day. Yeah, I am. Wow. I called El yesterday and told him I wanted to have him on the show to talk about these shows this weekend, and we hadn't had a chance to connect, and so I called him yesterday early in the day and said, El, I know you're probably busy, but if you get a chance, call me back, and I would love to see if you can come on the show tomorrow. And it was midnight last night, and I hadn't gotten into bed yet. I was sitting in my lounge chair, but had fallen asleep in the lounge chair. My phone rang, and it completely startled me, and it was El. And he says, Tavis, whatever you need, I'll be there for you, brother. So I wasn't even sure this was going to happen today, but at the last minute, literally at the midnight hour, El called me last night and said, I will be there for you. And so I'm glad to hear that he's added some special stuff for the second night. So you hear El's point, and I ain't mad at him. If you got a ticket for Sunday, you might want to get another ticket for Monday because he's going to do some extra stuff on Monday. We'll continue our conversation with DeBarge here on KBLA Talk 1580 in a moment. And I get so nervous, man. But do you, aside from at you funny like that. To your point, I assume you feel the energy of the audience when you're on the stage. You feel that people are pulling for you, right? I know you do.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do. I feel it. It's amazing. And you know, LA is my joint, man. I love LA, man.
Yeah.
And show me that love, because I love me some LA, man.
Well, LA loves you. Your hometown in Michigan, of course, loves you. But we love you here in LA, and you've got tons and tons and tons of fans. And if you didn't, they wouldn't have had to add a second show. So we are delighted that you're doing a second show. So again, if you are in the Southern California area this Sunday, Soulful Sundays Live, Soulful Sunday, DeBarge in concert with Switch, a reunion concert that will also be a tribute to Bobby DeBarge, who you heard El talk about earlier in this hour. El, you are always welcome here at KBLA Talk 1580 on this show, Dominique's show, anybody's show. When this is your home, and whenever you're doing anything or working on anything that you want us to know about, you are welcome to come here. We love you. We respect you. We are pulling and praying for you all the time. Stay strong, stay healthy, and have a happy holiday season. Some great shows this weekend, my friend.